Tis the season, folks. Tis the season. Welcome to our broadcast. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button as well. Welcome to our broadcast. Good to have all of you on the live tonight. Tandy Nelson, good to see you. Shanet Spelling Light, good to have you too. And Clear Access, Chomley Richmond, Bantu King, good to see you on the live. Folks, what a press conference we had today. What a press conference we had today. The voice president of Guyana. What a press conference. My God, my God, my God. So much happening in this country. By the time you blink, folks, don't blink. That's what I'm really telling y'all. Don't blink. How much you want to, don't blink. Folks, we got the fight card set. So much happened today. Plenty things. Enough. Good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wherever you're joining us from, ringing the bell for all of you. Very early. What a press conference we had in the voice. The voice president, folks. The voice president. Keep telling you all, tis the season. Tis the season. Tis the season. You got to be, so much going to happen. You think you hear and see anything? You know, I love living in this country. Nowhere else in the world you'd see some things, you'd hear some things, revisionist history. My God, what a press conference it was. What a press conference it was. But I can't take the vice president seriously. I can't take the vice president seriously. I'm telling you, lots are happening, folks. The deck coming to come. No big changes since the last time we brought it out, but it's coming to come. You know, coming to come, the deck. You better land on your feet. Whichever part of the deck you are, you better be able to hit the ground running for the deck. Tis this season. Tis this season. How you all doing, man? Good to have all of you on the live. Ring the bell one more time. For all of you, we turn it like way down. I hope it's not affecting you all too much. We know you get big thing and so on. You know, you can't handle too much rockings and so on. Take it down a little bit more just for you folks. Yep. Good to have each and every one of you on the live tonight. Tis this season, folks. Tis this season. We got a lot happening. We got a lot happening at home and abroad. At home and abroad. Today, the conference, folks. The conference. Today, we can come down to this. Hold on. Why you also hurry? Hold on. We got to do things in stages, you know. We got to do things in stages. The little sister can't marry out before the big one. Stages. You know. You don't see quarter bottle and large and so on mix up on the shelf. No. You got to get a system. So we come around, folks. Let's start here. But I told you I couldn't take the vice president seriously tonight at all. I just couldn't. I couldn't take it serious. Let us know if you're all hearing us clearly. Brian and Redeman, Colvis and Pat Promo, Pat. Shahadio, good to have you on the live tonight, folks. Let us know if you all are hearing us clearly, all seeing us clearly, and all is well. Yopida, you all know we've been talking about the goal scholarship. In particular, this university, Staffordshire. A lot of students have signed up to do their degree, certificate, diploma, I don't know, whatever it is, with Staffordshire. And they said they're getting a raw deal because apparently the university had known nothing but gold. The university, apparently, the university don't know nothing but gold. Now, in this press conference today, I'm telling you, the vice president said it is not so. He said the things are being worked out, meetings are being had, right? Such and so forth. I tell you what the fella said. The opener, folks. From the press conference today. The opener, the government and goal.
Just before I came here again, yesterday we spoke to Professor Opeder. Now, Professor Opeder runs this program. the Gold Scholarship Program. He was the Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana. He comes with a solid academic background. He was at the University of the West Indies before he came here, and we brought him back to run the program. I have great faith in his ability to ensure that our children, not just children, because you have some adults too, our people, they get a good quality education that's not fake. He explained to us, and I think he put out a statement, that there is some disagreement now between the university and the group, that the contracting group. It's ISDC, right? It's ISDC. And because of change in management at the university. He said to me today they have a meeting between the two entities to sort this out. It's not. ISDC is accredited to globally if you go on their website. So today, he said he's awaiting their completion of the meeting in London to know about the way forward. It's not fake. Nothing is fake. And he said also it's either they sort out the difference there, which could be sorted out, but if they can't sort it out, he has two other universities in the United Kingdom that will accept the grade that people got. They already credit them for work already done. So he has a really strong background in this. He's done a lot of this. I would suggest future to talk to him because he could be much more knowledgeable about all of these matters. That's why we brought him back to run the program completely, and we have great faith in him. So please deal with that. But I want to assure the people we're not going to leave anybody by the wayside. This has to be resolved to their satisfaction too.
Well, some of us ain't got a kind of faith in Jacob Opaday. Not all of us got a kind of faith anymore. You see, what Jagger didn't tell you is that Jacob Opaday, he was the man who supervised Irfan's doctoral thesis. You heard him say he was at UWI and so on. That's why you see this press conference had a lot of hot here, and I can't take Jagger too seriously. Jacob Opaday is the man who supervised Irfan's doctoral thesis. And Jacob Opaday now get him brought back. So Jacob is involved in goal. I saw Jacob is involved in the digital school. He in everything but for grace. As we say colloquially. He in everything but for grace. But that's not the worst part. That's not the worst part. Why I can't take Jagdio seriously. It's not the worst part. You heard Jagdio swear. The thing is good. It's not no fake. Not no fake. Folks, don't take me word for it. He says, Apnu spreading this thing. Don't take the New Nation, the Key, and definitely don't take the Mirror's word for it. You might be able to take the Catholic Standard. Right? But Starbuck News today pronounced on this matter. Remember, you just heard the Vice President said everything on the up and up. Gloria, Glenford, Valerie, Asha, Yvette. Isn't that what the man said? Wilma, Wanda, Michelle, Tessa, Odessa. Odessa, that's not what the fella said. Odessa, you just hear what the fella said. Staffordshire. He said everything up and up. Starbuck News just today. Just today. I won't give a shout out to the people who taught me to read. Just today. Top to bottom. Look, Starbuck News. Yeah. Oh. Look, Starbuck News. Starbuck News says, according to sources. Oh, that's a use one of them influencers getting big money from things, sir. Big money are coming to you. Hold on. According to sources, right? Within the University of Staffordshire, administration officials have confirmed that they have no knowledge of any agreement with the International Skills Development Corporation. Jagdo says this is the contracting company that Goal used to get into Staffordshire. We ain't got no knowledge of this ISDC. And we ain't got no knowledge of any goal. Staffordshire has denied any affiliation with goal. Ladies and gentlemen, in Jagdia, just tell me, this thing is not fair. In Jagdia, that's why I couldn't take the whole press conference seriously. It is precisely why I could not take the whole press conference seriously. Because if you can lie about the little things, the university itself, Starbuck News, you can't fault Starbuck News. You know if the dev app new, you know if the dev PVP, they're just there by themselves, really and truly. They're just there by themselves. And that's a good thing. The media must remain independent. No, sir. Look, thing in black and white. We are quoting here what Starbuck News said. We are quoting verbatim. Starbuck News said Starbuck News reached out to Staffordshire. And the university said, depart from me. Goal, I never knew you. Jack News said today, Day told him they were having meetings with Staffordshire to iron out the problem. How is iron out the problem? Somebody say, I don't know you. Huh? You think if you talk long enough, they can start knowing you? Irfan's doctoral thesis supervisor. You think if you talk long enough, suddenly they start knowing you? People say, I don't know them. I know where they come from. That's oh my God. Jack just said, no. Day, we trust Day. Day said they're having meetings with them, and I didn't know the problem. The people said we don't know the contracting company, and we don't know goal. So what's there to iron out? What a lying, treacherous government, folks. What a lying, treacherous. Treacherous government. Pim. Oh, Father. The press conference was downhill from there. Folks, the press conference with a capital con, the press conference was all downhill from there. If you hear Staffordshire say, we don't know these people, and the people say, we know them. If you get a choice between Jagdeo and Staffordshire, where do you think I falling down? Where do you think I landing? By these jagabats and trench crappers? Not a bit of it. I know them top to bottom. We know them top to bottom. Top to bottom. But who tell Mohameds today? Who tell Mohameds today to talk some story with Zulfi? Cute Zulfi. You can't talk that with them, the Mahavex. Who tell Mohameds to talk some? It is alleged because I didn't see the video yet. Right? I ain't seen the video yet. It is alleged. Zulfi, the rice farmer, the moonwalk, and the whining name getting called. I don't know what the Mohameds, Azruddin Mohammed, said about Zulfi tonight or today. But Jack, you ran out. You ran out, folks. By God. But strange because a lot of people talking about them. And I see Ronald behind them. A lot of people talking about the nonsense that's happening. I just really think I run out behind everybody now. He will have to run out behind everybody. Everybody.
From the president that dance on TikTok, a rice farmer hungry. They are wine. I don't know what. A farmer hungry.
them a wine. You see, but when we go and talk to them, Jack, you're vexed. The people said they're distracted. They're whining and walking for 5 years. They get time with people in this country. They don't have time with the people in the country. I tempted to play it back, but I want to vex you. If you ask to play it back, I can run it back. Them a walk and whine. Them a moonwalk and wine. That's what the fella said. Them a just because I got Melly Mel on the live tonight.
Come the president a dance on TikTok. Alright, farmer hungry. Them a wine. I don't walk. A farmer hungry.
So Jack, you got it on behind here now. Folks, today, March 6th, is the death anniversary of Dr. Cherry Jagan, of blessed memory. Yes, believe it or not. But it was interesting, this press conference today, because Jack just spent less than 5 minutes on Dr. Cherry Jagan's memory. And he spent 45 minutes on Azruddin Mohammed, because he said Azruddin got a plan. Right? He said they got a plan. No. This is not running to solve the issues of the rice farmers. The rice farmers that said Irfan moonwalking and whining too much. No. It's a bigger plan. He said he know the thinking. Top to bottom. He know the thinking. Folks, I ain't see Jack Yo so frightened in a long time. Ian William, Chevron, Iban. I have not seen Jack Yo so afraid. Patrick, Sonia. 5 minutes on the founder. 45 on the contender. That's how to do it. That's how to do it. This whole press conference, it could be summed up in a phrase. Hold my shot. Right? Hold my back. You have some friends that's screwing up a fight, but they're watching you for hold them back because they're really want to fight. Hold my back. Hold my back. Hold my back before I hit this. Hold my back. Then 5 minutes. Dr. Cherry Jagger must be tumbling in the grave tonight. Tumbling. 45 on the little upstart. 45. He said, I know the thinking. Oh Lord, they should be paying Mohammed rent. Huh? Mohammed in the head, they should have paying you rent. So I know the thinking. Not the thinking of Cherry Jagger, you know. That they shape this party, shape the country. No. I know what the Mohammed's trying to do here. I answered them. Me had them big for nothing.
Let me tell you the thinking. So what I've heard, since he heard a lot of things, and he spoke about what he heard from people, etc. I've heard that they were advised that if you run for government, the United States government will drop the sanctions on you because they would think you're a political opponent and therefore you may get the sanctions dropped. Two, we've seen this all the time. Remember when C.N. Sharma got into trouble? He claimed he had trouble of a different nature with the law. He didn't claim, because I'm running against the government. So any trouble now, they would try to make all of this seem as though because they're getting into politics, that the PPP is upset with them. No, the PPP, we didn't impose the sanctions. The whole worry started with the sanctions. Not the PPP taking actions against them, but the actions were a consequence of the sanctions. Consequence of the sanctions. So this is the thinking, I think. If we run, the US government may drop the case against us. Secondly, that we can always claim that any enforcement action which the PPP would do, because the US has asked for additional stuff, significant amount of additional stuff, that could see more serious enforcement action against them, they can claim, it's because we're political opponents of the PPP.
You know why everybody running? all the conceptualize, This is why they're running. This, This might run in. Johnny got pick a struggle, you know. Bharat Jagdeo, he got pick a struggle. Last week, the man said he's not going to talk about people who are doing good deeds out there and philanthropic work and helping people, and so what he says, donating stuff and so on. You see, if they enter the political arena, if you enter the political, he's not going to touch, you know, if you're giving away stuff and you're volunteering and so on. No, all that is well and good. He's not going to do that, right? He said last week it was good. They're handing out stuff and so on. That's nice. This week he says Escobar. this week is Escobar, right? This week. It wasn't the last week. It was good, man. Good, conscientious people. I wouldn't touch people giving away stuff. This week, the man said, this thing here. Jack Dio no able. He said, this is very Escobar-esque. Escobar-esque. That's what the man said. He says, we see this all this sharing away stuff here. Sharing away. I getting the good stuff out of the way. He says, Escobar, this is madness, folks. The short of it, this is madness. How is it fright? The man all over the place today, he incoherent. Drink out the tea, send back for more, send for water. Incoherent. Take a look.
You're going to be extremely delusional to think that what people say to you because you're sharing out some money on the ground, that would translate into votes. And by the way, about sharing out money, I hear a lot about this. If you evade, as the American government claimed, $11 billion in taxes, you could easily spend $200 million or $300 million on giving it out. That still you still have $10 billion of evaded taxes, and give it to a couple of people, 100,000 here, or build a small house for them. So what's this big deal? And is it done as a cover to ensure that there is no strong enforcement action? Because it gets magnified. You know, one house, 20 people say, oh, he's building more houses than the government. Somebody said that. One of their fictitious people they put there. And then it's not true. But you know how social media is and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, people will fool him. But if you're evading on one instance $11 billion of taxes, that's a good business to be in. Evade 11 billion, as the US government said, and then spend $200-300 million on handing out. You know, who operated like that? It's the Pablo Escobars of the world. They give out some stuff like that.
So everybody giving out things is Pablo Escobars. You know, from Jack Dio millions, from Jack Dio's billions. You know, they said he's the second richest man in this country after the Mohameds. Jack Dio. That's the word in the ground. He's the second richest man in this country. He ever built a house out of the money that he got? Out of the money that he saved and he earned in this life. He ever built a house for anybody? And, you know, I saw during this press conference, people asking, when you're from the driving Mohamed's van and so on, and they put on the, the presidential seal and insignia and so on the Raptor, did he know then it was the airport van? It was Escobar, sir? He didn't know all of that? Or he the aiding and abetting? Right. When the people are collecting the millions from the Mohameds to fund the campaign and return to office, he didn't know then? Huh? It's sure came right with this fellow. You can't trust him. Right? He went around the Mara room 7 times and he said, he didn't marry the girl. You can't trust. He didn't know all of them. It's now we know. Oh, it's take a little while. It's take a little while. But folks didn't having it. On that life, folks is jealousy. Right? Folks is competition. Jack just start pitch now. He getting old. You don't see young forever. We're poor players on the stage. You know, we struck our stock, but for a moment. And then next. And then the man started talking about Odessa and Melly Mel and so on, the influencers that helping him. You know, a whole set of stuff. The influencers that helping him. Man says vex, the visa get revoked. You know, he's talking half and left half. He says so much of people come to he saying how they're associated with the Mohammed. Suddenly, you know, all of a sudden, just come, you know, he wake up yesterday and realize he's Escobar now. Last week he said, no, they're doing good, man. We got time with them. If he touched politics, if he touched Zulfi and so on, then we go war. But no, man, the humanitarian thing, he giving a little rice and so I know people think like in this country, people gotta get a thing where they gotta get it from. You know, it's all well and good to give a mattress, a house, a car, several of them. And so this is all well and good. This morning he wake up and says, Escobar, this one hit. Escobar. Because he touched Zulfi. Right? Because his house bigger than Zulfi's house. Or is Zulfi's house bigger than his now? So Zulfi is the third richest man in this country. You want to hear that? That's the word in the ground. That is the PP has come into PP ministers have come into some shocking wealth. Shocking wealth over the last 2-3 years. But remember, everybody's saving, eh? And who ain't saving? Selling phone card. Right? And who ain't selling phone card alone? Saving and selling phone card. Yeah. How did they come and buy these billions? How did they come and buy these billions? And I wonder why people only go into Jack Dio with this visa revoked story. Why don't they go into Jack Dio? Like he's got visa for people. He said a lot of people, singers, songwriters, artists, come and tell you, they want to give a little blind piece of time, and my visa get revoked. It can't be done. They never tell nobody else. They tell me alone. That's what he said.
He speaks about the consequences of the sanction. So I think he took umbrage to us saying that a number of people had lost their visas because of connection with Azruddin Mohammed or companies associated with Azruddin Mohammed because they're all sanctioned, including Team Mohammed is a sanctioned U.S. entity, a U.S. sanctioned entity. So he claims that he knows of people who are close to the PPP administration who may have lost their visas for whatever reason. So again, I will urge him to make public all of the names of the people close to the People's Progressive Party or the administration who have lost their visas, apart from those who lost visas because of Azruddin Mohammed association with him. So he's free to do that too. And I hope he does this. I've had entertainers who complained to me. They were called, when they traveled to the United States, they were taken to secondary and questioned for hours about the connection with the Mohammeds. Entertainers, because somewhere they received some maybe contribution from them. I've had people complain who are religious leaders who lost their visas because, and they're questioned in the United States of America. Some of them were transiting there. They couldn't transit back because, and they were questioned only about their association with the Mohammeds. You had mechanics, you had purchasers, you had a ton of people who have either been questioned or lost their visas because of association and when they go into the US government. So that's why I said a couple of weeks ago that numerous people, when asked by the media. So notice, none of that, but it's people are losing their visas because of the association with government. This is obfuscating the issue. This is sidetracking the main issue. That is why in this statement that he made, he had to start with the false premise that only U.S. entities could be sanctioned. No Guyanese could be sanctioned because of the association with the Mohameds, when people are actually quietly bearing a lot of suffering and pain because they don't want to go public. No, it's a stigma, the shame. They don't want to go, they lost their visas, and they don't want people to know.
I wonder if he visa get take away. I wonder if he visa get take away. He know everything. All them people went to he complaining the Mohammeds they make my visa get take away. And when visa they really get take away, he didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing. But let me tell you what happened here. This is not about Zulfi. This is not about Zulfi. He had made a calculation, Chabio, that certain things can happen later down. And he can get some time to Mangasango. Right? He gonna get some time to Mangasango. But time catching up with them quick. You see that video that the elder Muhammad, Nazar Shal Muhammad put out there? That video did a lot of damage, you know. That video did a lot of damage. I told you all the other night, a colleague of mine, right? I look up to this lady as an elder, Muslim. She said, Sharad, you see that thing that man did there? You might know it, but I tell you all, culturally, I tell you, young in this business, culturally, that man could do anything now. I want you to understand what's happening. I want you to understand what's happening. And so a lot of this you see with Jagger is panic, you know. Panic. I love it. It's good content for us as creators. It's panic. Now, what he has to do politically, let me try to explain very briefly and simply what Jagger is trying to do. You got to define your opponent before they get a chance to define themselves. That's one. That's what he's trying to do here. Oh, he's a gangster. That's all the thing, you know, the thief, the rape. Right? That is their thing. That's a modus operandi. So he has to now come to try to define the Mohammeds. Because clearly the father said, wherever be son, one I back in him. 1000%. So he has to define. And the other thing he has to do, oh, he talking about, oh, don't worry about Taylor Swift. She'll endorse somebody. And don't worry, this one. Politics is about numbers. There's a reason why they went after the Taylor Swift endorsement. Because in politics, it's numbers. You think if Taylor Swift said, Irfan Ali is the best thing since sliced bread, they ain't got to broadcast it top to bottom. A lot of other little small people endorse Kamala that you never hear about. It is about numbers. If it's not about numbers, why are you worried if James endorse or Mr. Peters endorse Selwyn and whoever else? Why you got to broadcast that? If these things don't translate, confuffle that to somebody else. The other thing you got to do now, I said it's about numbers. You got to blunt the momentum of your adversary, and that's what he's trying to do here. If they allow this to pick up steam, Jack, you know they're in trouble. He know they're in trouble. You think they send you the video where Van there whining and moonwalking? Jack, you know the PPP in serious trouble. And social media has its role in that. Because the information and the dirtiness and the wickedness that used to take you a long time to come to you. Like that you get it now, in real time. He go around with a live every day. That's how this thing gets in. Social media wasn't this formidable in 2015. You had me in 2015. And twice a day, about a good thrice, and 4 times a day in the skin. It's a different territory. So he has come out now trying to blunt the momentum of the Mohammeds. This is politics. So he's got to define it. He's a gangster. Oh, he's Pablo Escobar. He's a scam. Who's you? Is who living room soon to sit again? Huh? Is me on? Is it Mohammed's on? Is who living room? So he has got to define, and that's just a couple of pulling out. Define his opponent, and because there is momentum now picking up, he can't say, you know what? I can deal with it in 2 months, in 3 months. He has been advised, you got to come out and lash now. Don't let me let this thing build. Don't let us allow it to build. Oh, the man can't talk properly, this or that. Jack, you barely learned to put a subject and a verb together the other day. Barely. Even was yet. Even when before the UN can't even pronounce reparations. Repper. And Jack, you talk about who can't talk properly. Give us a break. So we know the old playbook is top to bottom. He has to define his adversary. And he has to chiefly blunt the momentum. This ain't getting no better, you know, folks. This ain't getting no better. It can only get worse. Right? He got to blunt and he got to define. And that's why you hear nonsense like this.
I have met Azruddin Mohammed on a few occasions. And I think he is a wannabe gangster who can't string two coherent thoughts together. And if he had to confront APNU, he would shit a bucket load.
Statesman, two-time president, statesman. You see, statesman. That's what he's trying to do. Blunt the momentum. Talk T-base, show a little red meat. You can't let this train pick up speed. You know the train left the station, you know. That is what the lady meant when she said, you see this big man out there? This big man will do anything right now. Jack, do you know the same thing? Jack, do you know the train has left the station? Nazar Shel Mohammed never call his name. Never call his name. Not once. He claiming because Azruddin talk about cute Zulfi, he got to respond because he's political now. People talk about Zulfi all the time. Zulfi's not nobody. Everybody knows Zulfi, the story, top to bottom. How much contracts the family getting, top to bottom, right in the ministry there. Zulfi is not John Paul II. He's not Pope Francis. This is police state. You can't criticize the leaders now. Or you only got to select. You can select who can criticize and what the criticism shall be. So the statesman.
I have met Azruddin Mohammed on a few occasions. And I think he is a wannabe gangster who can't string two coherent thoughts together. And if he had to confront APNU, he would shit a bucket load.
Wow. I could imagine Her Excellency Nicole Terrio right back in the American Embassy saying, Her Excellency Jane Miller, Canadian High Commissioner. I guess this is it. People tolerate me, you know, because we got a little oil pumping out there. What? Does it? I mean, does it? This we come to? Because a man said the minister got a constitutional responsibility to come and listen. The rice farmers, they said they ain't coming. You heard the people just recently. Zulfi say come for talk, no, shut your mouth. Because they feel they got to transport over a certain section of this country. That's what they feel. Shut your mouth. Keep your mouth. That's what he says. And listen to the statesman, you know. Statesman. But folks, we see this whole movie before. Right? We see this whole movie before. Once you start thinking independently, some of y'all now come in this business and start, you know. I've been quietly watching things for a long time. Chanda Paul, Angel Chanda Paul husband, God rest the dead. When he starts saying how they corrupt, like Kemran Dramditan, like Moses Nagamotu, and start advocating for change in the PPP, Jagyo went after Chanda Paul. Here's the headline from Sabak News. Chanda Paul says being targeted by a special team. Hinta Baniba, Makwashiba take notice. James and critics and Boardness and the whole pack of y'all, Quincy and Quincy and Troy and Henry. Hinta Kwaniba, Makwashiba take notice. He was born PPP. And if Jagyo could go out, we see this movie before. You come for break their base if you want to have an independent thought. That's a Guyana I want to live in. That is not a Guyana I want to live in at all. Went after Chanda Paul, went after Ramchatan, went after Nagamutu, because they wanted a party that was founded and following the principles of Chedi Jagan, and a party that's not corrupt. Transparency International told us last week they're corrupt. Captured by the elites. The Mohameds didn't tell me that. Transparency International told us that in the Corruption Perception Index. And I love how Jagdio spoke so warmly of the Americans. How the Americans sanction. I love it. I love it. The North remembers. The North remembers. You remember the Feral Blast? Huh? You remember the Feral Blast on the UN envoy? These people who suddenly got a big love for the Americans. When the Americans say revoking Kwame visa, revoking this body visa, revoking the body visa, had he on a watch list and had him on a tight leash, calling for local government elections. The people who didn't have local government elections for 20 plus years. He had no profound love for Uncle Sam them. No. They celebrated what Roger Luncheon at that point of blessed memory called a feral blast. A feral blast. And then when the woman get called a wild hog, when the woman get called feral, she didn't like it from the other side. When Roger said she's a feral, she ain't got no problem. She was feral. Feral then, she feral now. The North remembers. Good folks. The North remembers. And to hear the man talk now about who doing what, and Pablo Escobar, and Pablo Sidebar, and all of that. My Lord, my Father of mercy, how far we have come. Oh, how the fallen are mighty. I didn't invent these headlines. Oh, how the fallen are mighty. Right? This was the Americans talking, you know. They said Jagjo government don't have the will for the drug fight because they're involved in the drugs too. Satan can't cast out Satan. Satan cannot cast out Satan. The Americans know them. He ain't talk when some of the senior members of his government getting stopped and asking a lot of questions at JFK. Yeah? Vikram Bharat denied and denied and denied and denied and denied. But I'm coming around to something as I wrap up. I'm coming, just before you all go, I'm coming around to something. I heard Jagdio today. He started out by almost reading verbatim the transcript of Nazar Shel Mohamed's what he presented the other evening on social media, what he put out there. He started and he read about, oh, I was sanctioned for gold and this and that and so on. And then he said, let me stop here. Forget everything else. He said, I can go through them one by one. He meeting number one. And the fellow said, let me stop here. We can't allow Jagdio to talk half and left half, you know. We can't allow it because that is what he did today. Jagdio seems his predilection, his disposition seems though, you can do no wrong. Once you don't come in our way to get power and to maintain power, once you don't come in we way, we good. You do whatever you want to do. Once you support your way, or even if you support your way, once you're in a way, there's not but Guyanese. There's not but life, making life better for me and you. Their life done better already. The little cabal. He talk half and he left half because the Mohammeds, they weren't sanctioned by themselves. They get sanctioned by themselves. The same fella, who just talk about who come to he, but visa revoked and this and that. May they go to heater? May Toussaint Thomas, they go to heater? Let me talk the whole thing, man, top to bottom. Guyanese heard by the grapevine. You know, you ask a friend who knows somebody, and Guyanese working plenty at JFK. Guyanese working plenty at JFK. You ever got JFK and somebody come text you and say, step out the line, sir, please? And then you hear the Guyanese accent kicking, could I have a photograph with you? Huh? They couldn't keep the business down. When May, Jagdio's permanent secretary at the Ministry of Home Affairs, when her visa was we didn't even know the visa was revoked. That's number one. We didn't know the visa was revoked. We knew that she was stopped at JFK. She was on her way to China, not on the Mohammed's business. She went on government business. She went on PPP party business to China. And when Jagdio was asked, reporters said we heard that the permanent secretary was pulled in by U.S. authorities. He said, no, it's routine. Folks, y'all know the thing top to bottom. Am I lying? He said it was routine. He said they pick people out randomly. She would just happen to be one of them. That's what he said. And then a couple days later, as people kept digging and pushing and all of that, suddenly we hear May visa get revoked and her phone was confiscated. But in that 45 minutes today, the woman that was elected to the central exec, while she was sanctioned with the Mohammeds, he didn't say a word about me. He didn't say a single word in 45 minutes. He know all who's Escobar, all who's this and that. And Jagdio is a seasoned politician in this country. We said it here many times. May Toussaint Thomas got to choose whether she wants to be a permanent secretary, she wants to be a public servant, or she wants to be a sweet girl. May was all over with the Mohameds. All over with the Mohameds. All over. All over with them. She on hunting trips. She got on she little camouflage. She got gun. They done fan boat. Oh, the going was good then. The going was good then. And then the Mohammeds got contracts from the ministry that May was the financial officer for. And Jagyo didn't know all these things but Escobar and Hubar and Sidebar, and the man can't talk, and the father this, and the son that. He didn't know none of that. He didn't know any of that. The world could have seen it. Let's send it back up. The world could have seen it. Folks. The world could have seen it. And a seasoned politician like him should have said, May, this thing looking bad. But unless you are not in their way, getting power and keeping it, he didn't mind. He didn't mind. Every weekend photographs, left, right, and center. And we said they might have had a genuine relationship. People, there's a small country. Everybody know everybody. But Anil must have known. It's not just the bias. You just got to flee the appearance of bias. You got to flee the appearance. So, may move from routine stop. Routine stop. She doesn't get pulled. There's nothing. And then we have to keep drilling down. You know? Jagyo like a good drilling. She has to drill down and he good. And then you hear now, Shavisa get revoked. And then there's a little more drilling in he. A little more drilling in him. And then he come and say, the visa don't get, your phone get confiscated too. And may still come and get elected. All this thing, Jack, you know today. You can't do business with this person. You can't do business here. And you can get sanctioned and all of that. And reluctantly, they moved her from public security, home affairs now. They put her someplace else. And then reluctantly under pressure, may ever step down from the sanctioned woman. She ever stepped down from the central executive of the PPP? Have you ever seen anything to that effect? So the whole PPP got get sanctioned now because Jagyo spelled out today. The whole thing top to bottom. If you only take a picture with the Mohammeds, you can get sanctioned. If you only take a picture. And then you got this Judas here. He got apologized to a lot of people. History can remember some of them harshly, you know. Very harshly. History can remember some of them. Folks, we in for some interesting time. So he spoke for 45 minutes on the Mohammeds, Asruddin in the head. He spoke about visa revoke. He didn't touch on his permanent secretary. He didn't touch on his central executive member who visa get revoked as well, who under sanctions as well. He didn't touch me. And hold on. Hold on. Give me like a minute and a half more. I like a preacher. This is my first finally. I got 7 more to go. Finally, in this document that chronicled the sanctions, you see, he talked half today, he left the other half. But we can talk to Jagyo. We ain't got no brief for the Mohammeds, but we can talk to. It said that May benefited. Let me see if I can go to the document quick. May benefited from a lot of things. They said there was corruption with a lot of senior government officials. senior government officials. All of that was part of this indictment here. They said then the shifter from I always remember public security, home affairs, they sent her over to labor. They said she was accepting bribes. I wonder if some of them are going as contributions to the party. Right? They said she was exchanging cash payments, exchanging contracts and weapons permit and passports for cash payments and luxury gift. And the same lady with all of the sanctions still end up and still on the central exec for the PPP, you know. Still on the central executive for the PPP. Still accused of taking bribes. Right? All of that. Accused of taking expensive gifts, luxury gifts, trips, gun license, contracts. She still sit down there, nestled sweetly. Never resigned from the central executive or the JAG, you know about sanctions. Was never asked to resign from the central executive of the PPP. The Americans said that there was lots of corruption, same thing Transparency International told us, among government ministers. That's what the document said. Some of them visas must get revoked quietly, but he ain't talking about all of that. He ain't talking about all that. But before we run off, he was asked today about whether Irfan is the presidential candidate. I thought we'd hear, yes, of course. How could you ask me that question? I thought we'd hear that. I thought we'd hear that. Mind you, the first line was the, I told you all, was the gold scholarships and so on. That's the first line. Gold said we don't, the university, Staffordshire. So we don't know them. So I know them. They know we. They're only talking. I know them and they know we. They're only talking. Staffordshire said we do not know them. Right? The other lie, among the multitudes of lies told today on the Corner Shop Show.
Now he said that Daily News and Critic are surrogates of the PPP. Now, we don't control the Daily News. We don't control Critic. So let me make that clear. They're not surrogates of the PPP. The PPP, if you want to hear our position on a matter, you come here, I speak about it, you ask me. I don't hide behind people to talk about our positions or news entity. Which are the surrogates of the Mohameds? Because I know for sure that they're paying large numbers of people to carry the message, including social media influencers. So who are their surrogates? What about their surrogates?
Daily News had up as their cover photograph for the Facebook page. We love and support PPP. PPP to the world. They had as their profile picture. PPP. Bread and born. Born and bred. PPP. He said them must have surrogates. But he was asked, folks, is Irfan Mohamed, is Irfan going to be the presidential candidate? Right? He wasn't as definitive as he was on the Mohammed, you know. Oh, this, that. He's a little iffy. He was a little iffy. He's a little iffy. That's all I can tell you. And whether or not Irfan is it. Almost we could conclude, sir. He defended one part of this thing, say, Mohammed and Irfan and Asruddin can't match Irfan intellect and his mental prowess. Can't match him. You see? Can't match him.
It's almost a foregone conclusion. It's almost a foregone conclusion that Irfan Ali will be our presidential candidate, as I said before.
He was so excited, huh? He was so excited.
It's almost a foregone conclusion. It's almost a foregone conclusion that Irfan Ali will be our presidential candidate, as I said before.
The donor for me was the statesmanship, man. The statesmanship.
I have met Azruddin Mohammed on a few occasions, and I think he is a wannabe gangster who can't string two coherent thoughts together. And if he had to confront APNU, he would shit a bucket load.
The most divisive figure, not only in Guyanese politics, in Caribbean politics, the most divisive, nasty figure. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. We're going to see you guys on the next one. Thanks for being with us tonight. In your numbers, Jilly G, most definitive. Almost a foregone conclusion. Almost. Jilly G, he says a foregone, you know. That is definitive. But when you qualify it now with almost, I know almost means you're there, but you're not right there. Something else Irfan got to do. Some other pledge. Irfan has got to kiss your ring again. You know? And go hook back his strings. Secret. I'm your puppet. Touch it back. Some of the strings bursting. You see? And Irfan responsible for this boy here, Mohameds. Is he to bring you close and driving you raptor and so on? So I ain't too sure yet. Almost. Let me see how things pan out. Almost. Folks. Folks. Carlisle says English is Irfan's second language. I didn't want to say it. Right? I didn't want to say it. But if you say take a whistle. But Garrett Seville and all the other folks, thanks for joining us. That's our time. That's our program. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button. Partner with us too. Take a step up the streets. You know? I ain't like them social media people getting paid by the by the Mohameds. Stay safe, folks. Stay safe. That's our time. That's our program.